McDonald's, why everything's so expensive, and some audio that was released that shows what I was saying was completely correct. We got a ton of stuff to get into. My friends, this is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. It's kind of amazing that we have these new reports that have come out showing JPMorgan Chase guilty, having to pay $290 million over a certain case. You know that guy, of course, with an island? Yes, indeed. And it looks like Mel Gibson was correct all along, my friends. We're going to get into all this. Let's just start here with the big story. We have here JPMorgan Chase, $290 million settlement with the lawyers, or not the lawyers, the accusers. And it was approved by a U.S. judge. Again, the man, of course, with an island. And what else do we have? Apparently, we're seeing a number of connections here. How a former president, actually two former presidents, deal. We're talking about Obama here with Honduras to flood the U.S. with the not-so-legals, as I call them, financed one of their organizations called Act, of course, Blue. And this being connected as well, we're talking here, Mike, who had served for 6 years as Joe's stenographer, is the key to understanding the origin of the criminal mortgage company laundering scheme that financed, of course, this organization. And here we have Representatives Brian and Jim, of course, Jordan, James Comer, issue subpoenas for that organization's lawyers to look into it for a probe. So we're seeing more and more of these where they're being called before Congress, where there's being subpoenas, we're seeing probes, we're seeing lots of different things in this realm for many people of recent, all within the last, I would say, month and a half. So we are seeing the wheels are starting to move. And I think this is going to lead into what we're going to be seeing over the next, I think it would be 3 months, because that would be the fall, right? Many will fall in the fall. And we'll see a change in our society. This will be a spiritual change that we'll be seeing. According to some of these people that have been predicting this for a long period of time, I've talked about this before. Kim Clement, he predicted one of the Kennedys would join our president, which has indeed happened. I actually have some stories to talk about later in this video about that. We have Mel Gibson, who's been talking about this forever, because what were these groups doing? They were exploiting, of course, certain people. We're talking, of course, the younger, in a very, I think you know what I'm talking about, bad way. And he has been talking about that for years. Over 10 years ago, everybody thought he was crazy. Hollywood has institutionalized that stuff. It is a den of parasites who feast on this. And we've seen him talk about this in the past. He's also apparently getting more active in California, wanting perhaps to be the next governor. We'll see what ends up happening. He has been out talking, doing the rounds. I've shown videos of this. I think about a month ago we had one. It was a political meeting that he was at. So we are seeing some of these things indeed happen. Like I said, we're going to get into a ton of stuff in this video. And kind of amazing, these prices at McDonald's. This is absolutely insane. And we have this TikTok of a guy who actually goes through all the math, showing how much money you would be making currently if you had the median wage back in the 1980s. And you are not going to believe how much money it is. It's absolutely insane to have the same purchasing power someone back in the 1980s had that made $27,000 a year. How much would you have to make today? I'm telling you, you're not going to believe it. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into also what our president just said. We have a number of updates there. We got some stuff going on in the UK. Got some Hollywood actors, actresses. We got Woody Allen and actually a ton of other stuff. Let's just get into this. We'll start here. McDonald's has absolutely lost their minds. I had to pause and zoom in to make sure I was seeing the prices correctly. Yeah, prices are a little bit big. $15, I think it was.
They just don't build a fucking McDonald's anymore. Look at these fucking prices.
Oh my goodness, yeah, $15.69, I think it was. Look at those prices. Those are insane. Can I get closer? I think I can. Here we go. His camera's not exactly the most zoomed in perfectly there. You can see, though, $13 for 2 cheeseburgers. That's not a good deal. Of course, they are getting desperate, though. I've seen some evidence that a lot of these fast foods are essentially going to be losing a lot of locations because they're going into the crazy territory now, trying to lower prices and eating losses. That right there obviously is not an example, but there are some things that they're trying to do. They're trying to bring back the extra value meal.
We're back. It's, I think, a great day at McDonald's. And for us, we've been on sort of a value journey over the last year. We last year launched in the summer the $5 meal deal, which was great.
Yeah, that thing is like super small, of course. Like it's nothing. But they're using that as a lost lead to get you to buy all the other stuff that's more expensive at McDonald's. The fact is, the food, not something I would exactly recommend. Matter of fact, I can't even eat there because I have a gluten allergy, and the fries have gluten in them. That just to give you an idea. French fries are not supposed to have that. The fact is, though, they got 20 ingredients just in the fries alone. There's supposed to be like 3 ingredients, right, or 2. Potatoes and salt, right? You would expect, but of course that's not the case. They used to use beef tallow to cook them. Honestly, I can't recommend anybody to go out to these fast food restaurants anymore. Almost all of them, honestly, are terrible. That's just my opinion on it. But getting over to this other story, this guy's talking about how much money you would have to make to live the same as someone in 1980 that made $27,000 a year. And I didn't want to show the whole video, so I fast forwarded to the important part where he shows how much money you would literally be making. He does all these calculations. Check this out.
Let me tell you what the number is today. I'm going to tell you this number, and you're going to say, Zach, that's wrong. You're going to think this is too dramatic to be accurate. I've spent 2 hours running these numbers back and forth. I've used 6 different AI platforms to actually verify this math because when I did it, I assumed I had to be wrong. But I'm not, and it's a great formula, the PPP, the adjusted PPP, the adjusted PP of 2025. If you were making the median household income, which today we have adjusted for inflation, the median household income back in 1985 was $27,440. The median household income today is $79,482. I went through 1989, 1995, 1999, 2005, 2012, 2018, all the way up to today to get the accurate numbers, all from the Census Bureau. You can't argue with these things. So again, median household income back then, $27,440. Today is $79,482. If you wanted to have the same purchase power percentage of the available economy to the bottom 90%, you and I, today you have to make $233,900 because there's only $5 trillion of our.
So $233,000. So basically
today you have to make
$233,900. This is the equivalent in purchasing power to $27,000 in 1980. This is what the Fed has done via the government when they printed all this money, and you and I paid for it. Of course, we didn't get any piece of that. On top of the factor of the rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer, in the process as well. Essentially, you have to make literally 10 times as much money almost. I think that'd be 8 or 9. To have the same ability to purchase things as you did in 1980. So this is why, particularly those that are maybe older that can't understand why no one's building a family and buying houses. That's the reason. And actually it makes sense because I think it really flipped even much worse over just the last couple years. I would say in the last 5 years, it got way worse. So if you would have bought a house, and actually if you'd have bought a house like 8 years ago, it would have been, I don't know. I'm thinking it'd probably be half that. You might only needed 110,000. You know what I mean? Or maybe 130,000 back 7 or 8 years ago. Compared to 233 today, because I think it's literally doubled just in the last, I don't know, 70, 4 to, I don't think it's 4, but 5 to 8 years. In the last 5 to 8 years, has pretty much doubled how much money you would need to do the same thing that you could do before. But people's wages have not doubled whatsoever. Like I said, we're gonna get into a ton of stuff. We have this awesome clip here. Let me just play this clip. Our president's meeting with all the tech giants, and has some people around the table you won't obviously like, probably. Mark Zuckerberg here, Billy Boy, the computer guy, Gates. And here, of course, we have here a clip, and this is going to make you, this is pretty hilarious. Check this out.
Well, I just wanted to apologize for every single fucking version of Windows that sucked, which is basically all of them. Also, sorry for creating viruses just so I could profit from selling you the antivirus software. And on that note, sorry for spreading real viruses by profiting from vaccines and shit. Also, sorry for sterilizing so...
That's not the real audio, of course. Yeah, but it is pretty funny. I mean, he gets obviously really honest there for once, right? Billy Boy there. It's obviously a fake video, but it's pretty funny. And you can see them all sucking up to our president. And I think our president is playing them. He's a businessman, right? A lot of people don't understand his methodology. He's not friendly. He's not becoming friends with these people. He's using them for his purposes. And a lot of people just assume if he's all friendly with them, he doesn't understand what they're doing to him. This guy is a billionaire. Our president knows what the hell's going on. He knows they're trying to butter him up. He knows all of that. Check this out. This is, of course, all of them trying to butter him up. It's pretty funny.
Mark, would you like to say a few words about the company?
Well, thanks for hosting us. I mean, this is quite a group to get together.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great honor to work here at the White House and to work for you.
Very grateful for your administration support.
We look forward to working together, and thanks for your leadership.
We're so grateful for that support.
Thank you so much, obviously, for bringing us all together and the policies that you have put in place. Thank you very much. And also, I wanted to thank Madam First Lady for hosting.
This is showing their defeat, okay? In his mind, as a businessman, he sees this as them submitting to him and not counteracting him anymore. Now, of course, some people, there is a little bit of a concern. He does allow, sometimes in some cases, he has let people sway him too much with kind words. That is one of his weaknesses, but I think also it's also one of his strengths. And so he knows how to use this and play this to his advantage. I can guarantee you he's not friends with any of these people. And he's just doing this to get his agenda forward.
I want to thank you for including me this evening. It's incredible to be among everyone here, particularly you and the First Lady. I also want to thank you for helping American companies around the world. I want to thank the First Lady for focusing on education.
First of all,
oh my goodness, they're sucking up so badly.
Echo the comments of Tim and others. Thank you so much for getting us all together, and thank you for being...
Thank you. Thank you for not getting us fired and canceled like you did to all those people in Hollywood. Jimmy Kimmel, not Stephen Colbert, maybe Jimmy Kimmel, because that one's actually the one everyone's talking about in the last 2 days, because he's got his Italian citizenship all ready to go. Jimmy Fallon, of course, sucking up to our president. He knows the thing to do. Kind of like these guys. Puts on his favorite TV talk show host and interviews him. They know what to do. They either got to fall in line or they get booted. And I think that's probably what's going on here. Now, a lot of people are getting concerned, like, why are these people, Mark Zuckerberg, giving seats next to the president? Look, okay, it's funny, though. You can tell that Mark Zuckerberg is probably the biggest suck-up of all of them. Bill, though, looks like he's not. He's a little bit. He's got a weird look on his face. I can show you that one. Yeah, let me show you that one. He's got this really weird look on his face. Where is that one at? I think this is it here. Let me show you this. He's got this weird smirk on his face. Let me see if I can get it on the screen right.
Running. I just want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank the media. They've been very nice lately, although...
Look at his eyes go back and forth.
I'm still here. So we have to... They made a couple of bad predictions. That was not good. I've never had that feeling before. I went to an event and people are coming up to me and saying, "You're still here." I said, "What do they mean by that? I didn't hear about this." But anyway, I do. The press has been great in terms of this.
You can see his eyes kind of going back and forth here. Where is it at? Yeah, right there. His eyes are going back and forth. He's the only one not smiling there. So I think Bill, I don't know, man. I don't like the guy at all. he's always trying to get his stuff going. And I think I have this funny feeling that our president's going to get rid of him. Matter of fact, I got a story about that. I was going to put it at the end of the video, but I might as well show it here. I'm pretty sure he's playing some of these people. I think Billy Boy is going to be gone. And it's because of some other reason. And it has to do with RFK. Okay, so apparently Susan Manaras here was fired as director of the CDNOC for trying to keep, the shots on the recommended schedule, for school, all that kind of stuff. And now we got Florida completely canceling it altogether. Literally, you need to have 0 to go to school now. That just happened about a day ago. But she was friends and has long history and connections with Billy Boy, the computer guy. And, of course, his foundation, such as her time at Stanford for postdoctoral research, where she worked in the department chaired by Mark here. So the point is that that's maybe why he's looking around and acting a little strange, is because he knows he's in trouble. Now, Mark Zuckerberg, he's done a better job of pretending to be on the right. He started a little bit earlier on. He got on Joe Rogan. Oh, yeah, I'm one of you guys. I like the UFC. Oh, yeah. And then, he's got this weird story he basically made. He constructed a story that's semi-believable, well, not really, where he got into the UFC and he was friends with Dana White, and Dana White converted him to being conservative. And now he's surfing, and, he's a man's man now. Of course he isn't. But, it's a little bit more believable. But the funny part is just looking at it, I think our president knows they're completely not on his side. Zuckerberg's just there for the money. And I think that's what our president wants. He's like, look, he'll just do what I want, which is, of course, the case. But Billy Boy, he looks a little bit concerned because he's not on the team. And I think he's going to be on the way out. I think something is going to happen to him very soon here. That's my theory. Adrian, we got a ton of stuff to get into. I wanted to mention we got a giveaway still going on. Link is in the description. We're going to get into this audio that was leaked. We're going to get into this story over in the UK. We got this big one from Hyundai, and I got some hilarious clips to show you. Also, we got RFK destroying the Senate. We'll get into that as well. Really awesome what he's doing. But check out this giveaway if you haven't already. Link is in the description. $500 Amazon gift cards, $500 laptop. Very easy to enter. Just pause the video. First link in the description. You'll just put your name and email in, and you just click a bunch of buttons. You get multiple entries. You could easily get yourself a 1 in 100 chance, 1 in 100 chance, or even lower potentially if you do them all. All right. Also, this book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity. I think some big stuff's happening this month. I got some stories showing that I'm going to get into in this video, some new updates. And honestly, you might want to get prepared. Get this book right here just in case. You never know what these guys at the top are going to do when some of them start getting, of course, arrested. Get the printed version, $37. Also, food supplies, link below as well. Go check it all out. Let's get back to the video. So we have here, our president wins his 17th consecutive Supreme Court ruling in a row. This is how bad it is in the lower courts. This is how the deck has been stacked in those courts.
To really put the degree to which the federal courts have been hijacked by the far left into perspective.
Look at that. 99 or 96% loss rate in lower federal courts, which means they're all stacked with, of course, political,
Check this out. Since taking office 8 months ago, President Trump has seen a massive 96% loss rate in the lower federal courts. That said, President Trump has appealed pretty much every single one of those lower court decisions, and as things currently stand, as we've said, President Trump has seen
17 in a row now at the Supreme Court level, which is obviously good. Now, I want to put in a little bit of a caveat here. I think I do. I'm trying to keep my videos separated here because we're going to get into this two-tier justice in the UK. Oh, this is interesting. Let's do that. All right, where is that at? Let me show you this. Okay, we have here a two-tier system in the UK where someone that's in a gang, not from, of course, the country, in the UK, doing some pretty bad stuff, as you can imagine, particularly to, of course, women. No arrest, but a teenager flying a flag, actually born in the country, put in jail. We now have that famous comedian, Irish comedian over there who just went to court over this. We'll get into that in a little bit. We also have here in America, some of the stuff's happening here in a little bit, not in a big way. Actually, a lot of it's being reversed. But we do have some cities that are dominated, particularly in the case of Dearborn, Michigan, which, of course, I grew up in Michigan near Lansing. Here we have a video that just came out today. A lady was breaking, of course, their laws, particularly from that religion, in that city near a mosque. Check this out.
Guys, but I'm feeling hungry, particularly for bacon. I love bacon. You think any of these guys want some?
Told me that you were taking videos in front of the mosque.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to take pictures and photos, but just no music and dancing. Just
She was
because
dancing.
It's a house of worship.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
We were just disciplined. I received my public lashing in front of you guys. I'm really
She purposely went there to break all the rules, and has got like a list of all the rules you're not supposed to do, certain things, and like dancing or dress the way she currently is, which is not obviously, which is normal, but here, but not there. She did all these. She went there to break all these rules and see what would happen, and apparently she was eating bacon as well. But this is the kind of stuff that, I mean, if you did this in the UK, you'd be arrested. If you fly a flag there, you'd be arrested. It's a little bit different, right? So you have that going on. And that's in tandem with what's going on with this guy, Graham Linehan, which is a Irish comedian who just went to court yesterday talking about his ability to simply tweet about the whole rainbow topic.
The police state and the police work for trans activists and left-wing lunatics like that. And they don't...
And of course, we had Nigel here in Parliament talking about this Irish comedian. Check this out.
Which is a very, very great shame. And we, of course, have the extraordinary events that we understood yesterday of Graham Linehan, the comedic writer, and he put out some tweets months ago when he was in Arizona, and months later he arrives at Heathrow Airport to be met by 5 armed police.
Wow, that sounds like fun. That's why you might not want to go to the UK, particularly if you're putting stuff online that they wouldn't like in the UK. Maybe not a good idea for me to land there. I don't know. I might be safer going to North Korea. I don't know, actually. It's kind of a good question. I'm not sure which one I'd be safer at. Because you can actually go on trips there for vacation too, by the way. And some are actually comparing the two places now, saying actually the UK's worse. We have an article here. Where is it at? I got it around here somewhere. I got a million things open. Where did it go? My goodness. Here we are. Oh, no, I know where it is. It was on one of these X posts. That's what it was. Here it is. Because I couldn't find the original. When did Britain become North Korea? Some are saying this online now. And yeah, so of course, here you have the audio that was leaked. Kind of interesting.
No, he's flown to America to badmouth and talk down our country. And worse than that, Mr. Speaker, if you can believe it, he's gone there to lobby the Americans to impose sanctions on this country, which
You deserve them.
working people. You cannot get more unpatriotic than that. It's a disgrace.
Oh my goodness. So this is the most ridiculous thing ever. He's saying that someone from his country went to our country and badmouthed him. And this is unpatriotic. And but flying flags and arresting people, that's completely patriotic, apparently, I guess. I don't know. These people make literally no sense. Up is down, left is right. Yeah, I think, no, actually, he should be able to say what he wants about you. We do that here in America. We talk bad or good about whoever's leading things. So I should be able to say something about you. I don't like what you're saying. I think it's ridiculous that you call this patriotic. And flying your flag is patriotic, but you're against it. Completely insane what they're doing over there. You have American Hollywood actress who was in Princess Bride. She's in some other show recent. She played a president in one movie. Robin Wright says there is a freedom of self in the UK after leaving. She left the US while this Irish comedian is on trial for a couple tweets and claims that they have more freedom of self there. She's leaving literally when that happened. I mean, talk about completely backwards. And that's what's happening over there. We have over here at a Hyundai plant, and this is something I would have never expected. You would assume it was people from South America, but no, that's not what's going on here. Almost 500 people, largest operation yet, taken into custody at a Hyundai plant in Georgia. And you would think, well, probably someone from South America, right? Nope. These are South Koreans. South Koreans that are illegal in America. And honestly, this is really bizarre because I've actually been to South Korea. My wife, I met her in South Korea. I stayed there for 2 months with her. And in South Korea, you can leave your purse in a mall and it will be there 10 hours later. No one will steal it. So to me, it's just so bizarre to see that this Hyundai plant was bringing in illegal South Koreans to America to work when South Koreans are very much against violating the law. So that's why it's so bizarre. It's so weird to look at. Knowing that you could literally leave your purse on a table there for 10 hours and no one would steal it. It's so weird.
Site, okay? We're Homeland Security. We have a search warrant for the whole site. We need construction to cease immediately. We need all work to end on the site right now.
This is crazy, man. And they're like all South Koreans. Like, what in the... They must be like... I'm wondering if they might be... I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of what it would be. Like criminals from South Korea being sent here? I don't know what that is. It's really bizarre. Because a lot of South Koreans wouldn't do this because it's illegal. So it's so weird. Where do they recruit people to do this? It's so weird. At any rate, knowing with what I know about South Koreans, it just seems so bizarre. So 2.1. So Georgia gave Hyundai 2.1 billion in incentives to build the plant under the premise it would create American jobs. Then Hyundai brought in an army of illegal Korean workers. It's so weird. Usually it's not these kind of people that are illegal, doing stuff like that. But at any rate, then we got this funny video here. I just thought it was really hilarious. Check this out. Apparently a guy in one of these costumes, it's one of those costumes that has air and it blows itself up. And this guy's got this really stinky, I don't know what this is, something really nasty. Check this out. That's so funny. I thought it was pretty hilarious. So you got that video. Getting over to this whole thing with RFK. This is pretty amazing. I'm really happy with the job he's doing. But before we see that story, we have this other story. No, actually, I'll cover this other story on my other channel. So I'm going to cover a number of stories I didn't cover over here on my other channel. I got this care workers one I'll cover over there. I got some other clips I'm going to not show here that I'll show over there. And I'm not even going to talk about the whole thing I did at the beginning of this video when I do my video over there. But check this out. We have here RFK just completely destroying some of these senators. Check this out. So you have here Elizabeth Warren. All right.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
Talking about the solution. He's talking about the solution, the 2020 whole, this thing you put in your arm. That's what they're referring to.
Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is, everyone who wants it, that was your promise.
I know I didn't. I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up big signs?
He's saying that these solutions, these products that they gave us back in 2020 have no evidence of actually working in a legitimate manner, in a net positive. All right. He says, at least for most people, it didn't do anything helpful. And she took almost $1 million from these big, of course, companies to push this. And he's calling her out for it. And this guy right next to her, Bernie, also took money from him.
Saying that you were lying when you said that, because you are the one who said you would not take them away.
He didn't take them away. You can get them for free. It's so ridiculous she's saying this. What is she even talking about? Obviously, she's, being a cheerleader for those big companies that give her all her money. Most people like you and I obviously approve of what he's doing. Getting rid of all of this. He got rid of all the mandates with regards to that. It can't even be given anymore to those that are younger. The only people that are supposed to be able to get them now are the elderly, which I don't even think that's a good idea either. But that's because, of course, you know why. Because they're supposedly the ones that could get the most sick and die from it or whatever. But speaking of sickness, we're the sickest country in the world. And I think there's a reason why.
Sickest country in the world. That's why we have to fire people at CDC. They did not do their job. This was their job to keep us healthy.
No, they were doing it to enrich themselves at our cost, at our harm. They were trying to enrich themselves to make money off us, to profiteer off us, not looking out for us, but looking out for their bottom line. That's really what it was all about. That's why there's this revolving door at the FDA with high-level executives in some of these big companies. We're talking about in food or in the medical, both. And that's why it's all like this. That's why you need to clean house. And some of those people were friends with Billy Boy, the computer guy, Gates. And that's why he looks so squirrely-eyed in that meeting with our president, and was the only one that wasn't smiling the way the other ones were. It's because he knows he's in trouble already. He knows he's in trouble. And the fact is, this is one of the people that was leading the CDNOC. I talked about this before. This guy, Dimitri here, he's got pentagrams everywhere. And actually, it reminds me of a certain Greek word in Revelation. It's also in Galatians 5:20. The term is pharmakia, kind of like the word pharmacy. And it refers to sorcery and also witchcraft, and also could refer to drugs. And it's so weird. This guy's into that stuff. That's so weird. I guess there's a spiritual connection after all, isn't there? Also, I think obviously there's a lot of people that get into other things that are spiritual that are not good as well. You know, Ouija boards, things like this. You're not talking to your relatives. You're talking to devils. Okay, I just want to make that clear because some people don't know that. But this term pharmakia is very specific, and it's referring to a type of person back in those ancient times who would purposely give you bad medicine so that they could continue to make money off you or manipulate you. Does that sound familiar? I think that's what they're doing, literally, in some of these or in many of these cases, is what they're doing. Of course, Billy Boy, the computer guy, is part of it. Funding people that were a part of this. RFK's talked about this, that even back in 2000, a certain doctor, of course, named Fauci, met with Billy Boy. And then 20 years later, Billy Boy puts out a documentary about, oh no, something's going to come. And then literally 2 months later, it came. The whole back in 2020. Oh, that's kind of weird. The timing's so impeccable. So you got all that. At any rate, that's my video. I'm kind of wondering what some of you guys think. Check out my links, by the way. I got this link page down below as well. Got all these books. I got the apocryphal books. I just added another one yesterday. Shepherd of Hermes. I added that yesterday to my website. This is my original website, godrules.net. Look at who's there. Yeah, so this is my original website. I created it in 1998. I started working on it back then, believe it or not, while I was in college. At any rate, check that out. Kind of wonder what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. And thanks for watching.